Hi YouTube, it's me, Brynn Chan. I'm back. So I just realized I don't ever introduce myself in the beginning of these videos. As you can tell, I've cleaned up down here a little bit. It's not spectacular. I still got cleaning chemical on the ground. It's been there forever. I don't have children. I don't. So yeah. So it's fine for our house because we don't have kids. Uh, And of course, his mom's kids are all grown. So, yes. Today, I want to talk about not whatever is on the screen. Today, I want to talk about budgeting. Okay? So, budgeting is a very important thing you should be doing when it comes to your money, saving money, spending money, future success, and things like that. Okay? So now they have apps out there like Rocket Money and stuff like that. I don't know how those work. I really don't. Uh, Not that they don't. They probably work very well. I have just not taken the time to go and look at them, so I will not be suggesting those here because I don't know how they work. If you use it, that's great. I would encourage you to continue using them. So, yes. So, let's get into this. So, budgeting. Why is budgeting important? So, budgeting is important because it helps you to not overspend. It helps you to think about what you're doing and how you're spending your money. Okay, and it helps you see where you've spent it before. So if you are like me, okay, you didn't budget before. Okay, and like I said, I only talk about topics here that I have learned or am learning myself. That way, I can tell you if it's working or not. But I have been budgeting, and I'm currently still learning more about budgeting. So, if you're like me in the past, you didn't budget. So you'd look at your bank account and be like, okay, I have some money, we can spend it on this or that, or just typical things like that. Okay? And I tell you to put 10% of your paycheck into savings each paycheck, you do that. Okay? And then focus on your bills and your debt and stuff like that. And then you have play money, but separate it out. Okay? But budget your money on how you're going to spend it. So if you have play money, what are you going to spend that play money on? Right? The goal is to not just spend all of that play money. You would like to have some of it still in your account, right? So just because you have your savings done and then your bills are paid for and you have a little bit of money left doesn't mean you go out to like Best Buy and buy a brand new monitor. Especially if you don't need that brand new monitor. Okay, I know it's nice, top of the line, let's go. My husband likes to play games. Okay, he's starting a gaming channel, so we're looking at new PC parts for his tower. He needs those for his channel. And I don't mind spending a little extra money on it. Especially if it's something he wants to do. Okay, once you learn to budget, get that out of the way, you need to learn to buy better quality stuff. If it's more expensive, it's more expensive. Okay? But it's better to buy that one expensive thing and only, pay for it once and then you have it for years than to keep buying something that's similar but way lower in price and keeps tearing on you and stuff. So say my husband got a Carhartt jacket. I didn't mind getting him the Carhartt jacket. Why? Because even though it cost $130, I wouldn't have to go and keep spending $130 on a jacket because it tears or whatever. It's not going to tear. It's not going to do that. Okay? It's made for the kind of work he does. Now, I could have been like, no, let's not get a Carhartt jacket. Let's go to Walmart and spend $20 on a jacket instead. But then I'd have to keep spending $20 and $20 and $20 and $20. And eventually those $20 adds up to way more than $130 that I spent originally on the Carhartt jacket. Okay? I could be $200-$300 down because I keep buying these cheap jackets, and instead of $130 out on a jacket that's going to last me, and technically I'm not even at those $130 because I'm going to be making more money in the end. Okay? So when it comes to his PC parts, I am going to go and I'm going to spend the money on the PC parts that he needs, so I don't have to keep going and buying different PC parts because it's not working. You know? Now, when it comes to a car, okay, if you're trying to make money, keep money, earn money, be your own boss, start a business and everything, you do not need a fancy car to start out with. You don't. You don't need a fancy car to start out with. So what you want to do is, if you know about cars, or a little bit about cars, or you know somebody who knows about cars, then get a used one, a reliable used one that you're not going to have to continuously take to the shop. Okay, you want to do your research, just like buying a new car. You do the research on a new car, you do the same on an old car. Okay, having a used car is okay. Typically, after 100,000 miles, things start to break down, right? But some of these old cars are built to last. So, doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. You don't need an expensive car. You don't need an expensive new car when you are starting out. So once you're making that money, once you have everything you want, you have the riches, you have the wealth, you have the time, maybe you buy yourself one luxury item, every once in a while. Okay? When you're rich and wealthy, you still want to budget your money. A lot of people who are rich and wealthy still budget their money. Okay? Why do they do it? It's because it's a habit that they've instilled within themselves from the very beginning. When they didn't have money, budgeting helped them make the money, and budgeting is helping them keep the money. You see what I'm saying? So, you need to budget it out. And when you budget it out, budget it for the things that you need. Of course, there's going to be unexpected expenses, right? Like, you get in a car accident. God forbid, you get in a car accident. I hope no one gets in a car accident, but they happen. Okay? So you get in a car accident. You're going to have to get that car towed, right? So you have to pay a towing service, unless you have, like, AAA or something. Then they do it, but you're still paying for AAA. Right? And then you have the insurance companies. They're going to get on you for stuff. They want to know who was responsible for the car accident, why the accident happened, stuff like this. If you can't tell, I've been in an accident. And it was 100% my fault. I can say all day long, it was because it was stop and go traffic. Yes, it was stop and go traffic, but I cannot tell you whether I hit the gas or I hit the brake and the brake just didn't connect fast enough. But I hit the lady in front of me, and instead of turning this way to get to the side of the highway, I went this way into traffic. Not the thing you want to do. So I hit the lady in front of me. So I had to deal with insurance companies. They're like, who caused the accident? Was it you, her, who was it? And I was like, hey, it's me. And they're like, are you sure you want to say it's you? Because your rates are going to go up. I'm like, yes, it was me. And they're like, okay, your rates are going to go up. You have to be honest anyway on these things. They told me, they're like, you have to be honest 100%. So if it was you, then your rates are going to go up. So I said, yes, it's me. And instead of sticking with them, I went ahead and found new insurance. But I no longer have a car right now. I have my husband's car. My husband drives. You know it. Most of the time, I drive it sometimes when I take him to work. And then I go home and I take him lunch. I go home and then I pick him up from work. Alright? That's pretty much Monday through Friday. And so today I probably wouldn't have even uploaded a video just because he is off today for New Year's. So a lot of companies, they let him off on Friday to enjoy New Year's, so they get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, but then they have to go back on Monday. He got Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and he had to work that Friday. So, but I had him leave the house with a friend so I can get a video out, because I keep saying, oh, my schedule, my video schedule is Monday through Friday. Hey, about the last 2 Mondays I didn't upload because the first Monday I was sick, I had the flu. The second Monday it was Christmas, and then this would have been the third Monday I didn't have a video uploaded. So I decided I was going to take the time and I was going to make a video, and he could go out and hang out with a friend she likes to do. And he complains that I don't let him do that anyway. So, budget your money wisely. Okay? But leave room in that budget for unexpected expenses. It's also kind of what your savings is for. It's for an emergency fund. So, but what you want to do is, instead of just having one savings where it's an emergency fund, you want to have another savings, one that you do not touch. Okay? One you don't touch. So we have an emergency savings fund. We aren't touching it right now. We haven't had any unexpected or unforeseen expenses arise. But we do have an emergency fund, and we have a goal amount that we want to get that fund to. But we also have an investment account. So the investment account is kind of the savings account that you don't touch whatsoever. And what we do is we put $100 a month in it. It's fine. That's less than 10% of a paycheck. We put the majority of our money into the emergency fund, but we still have the investment fund going. We are looking into investment opportunities as well. Like I said, we do stocks, we do stuff like that. So, yes. But we also have to budget things out. That's why we're able to put more than 10% of our paychecks into the savings account, because we budget things out. Now, am I saying that December was a great month and we budgeted and we did all this other stuff? No, we did not do that. Okay, I had it budgeted out. What I did not account for was the fact that the holidays were in December, so I did not have that budgeted out the way it needed to be budgeted out. Okay, I did not take into consideration the holidays. I did not take into consideration the people we were going to be meeting. I did not take into consideration the fact that, one account is shared. I am not okay with that fact, but it happens. So, okay, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that completely random break in the video. My husband came down. He was supposed to be already out of the house, but he is apparently struggling with taking off a light fixture upstairs for his mom so he can replace the light bulb. So he came down because he also forgot his car keys. Yes, he forgot his car keys. Anyway, no. So I had a budget for last month that was not followed through. So, because like I said, I didn't account for the fact that there was holidays, we were going to visit family, we were going to visit friends, all that other other stuff. My Christmas actually got canceled with my family because my nephew got COVID. So I had a small thing with my mom and my grandmother. We went to my grandmother's house. My mom is taking care of my grandfather. So she's kind of living there right now. My dad is kind of living at their house. You know, it's like a teenage romance thing going on. It's kind of cute. But, yes. That's my adoptive side, which I am probably more inclined to consider them as my family than any of my biological side. Yes. So, if you knew my biological side, you would understand. I'm not saying everyone on my biological side is, but there are a couple, and we're not going to get into that right now. So, but, take them, we can actually compare this, right? Okay, so, biological side, very, very, very poor mindset. So, they're broke. They've always been broke, and they're still broke, and they like to complain. So, Gordmans, if anyone remembers Gordmans, I don't know if they were around different states or not, but here in Kansas there was a Gordmans. We had Gordmans. My grandmother would take me back to school shopping there all the time for new clothes. It was not an expensive store, but someone on my biological side was like, I'm glad Gordmans is gone because I couldn't afford anything in that store. Anything in that store. And mind you, it was not an expensive store. Yes, it was on kind of the better side of town, but it wasn't. It was slightly more expensive than Walmart, but cheaper than the mall, if that makes any sense. So Gordman stuff was fine. So I adopted family. We'd always go there for back to school clothes shopping, and they're fine. They did for like, you know, some things were expensive, like, I don't know, your typical things that any middle class family would think is expensive. There were a few times where we did fun shows. Fun shows are horse shows where you ride horses and you do events with those horses. So you got barrel racing and cakes, and cakes is not with cakes. They're buckets that are turned over and you go around them. So, and poles and stuff like that. There would be a couple times that I would want to get something from concessions, so I asked my mother for some money, and she'd look at me and she'd be like, do I look like I'm made of money? Hence, she wasn't going to give me money to go to concessions, which I, you know, is fine. If I had my own money, I could go get a drink whenever I want. You know, typically we brought water or something with us, and so we didn't have to buy drinks from the concessions anyway. And a lot of time, my mom would have my dad go to concessions and buy us all hot dogs to hold us over until later that night, and we'd probably go get more hot dogs. Okay, these events can kind of run a little long. It's fine, they're fun, I like them. And typically, sometimes there'd only be like 3 events, I think. Sometimes more, I don't know. It's been a while. So, the difference between both of these families, right, the biological side, they never budgeted. Never. They've never budgeted. They still don't budget. And they're, you know, they've always always complained about how they were raised, and how, how they were raised has messed up their life so much. Mainly their parents. They complain about their parents all the time. Mind you, they're in their late 40s, and they're still complaining about their parents. So they complain about the parents, about how, oh, my dad did this, or oh, my dad did that, and oh, he was borrowing stuff. When by the time you are at least 18, sometimes it can be sooner than that. Okay? Sometimes, if you're like me, I wasn't out of the house until I was 19. But by the time you are 18, very common number, 18, you can leave the house, make your own decisions, and do all this other stuff. So you cannot blame other people for your actions. Okay? Just because I know a lot of people don't know how to budget because they were never taught how to budget growing up. But, by the time you're 18, you can decide what you're going to do with your life. You can decide to get better. You can decide to budget. You can decide to do all of this stuff. And like I said, you can even start before you're 18 a lot of the time. Sometimes it just depends, it depends on what you're doing, the circumstances. So some kids are starting their own business and stuff, which is awesome. It's completely awesome. I 100% support that. If you're 13 and you want to start your own business, go for it. As long as you have the support system to do it, I would definitely do it. Okay, but by the time you're 18 and you don't have a support system still, you are your support system. You are the only person who's going to push you to keep doing better. Okay? If no one else believes in you, believe in yourself, and I will 100% believe in you as well, because I am on the same journey. I am becoming an entrepreneur. I am doing affiliate marketing, which I will still leave a link down below, like I do in every video, to learn more about affiliate marketing. I do affiliate marketing. I do YouTube. I am looking into real estate. I do stocks. All of that. So, do it. I support you 100%. Okay? But back on topic. So, they didn't have that growing up. But they could have decided when they turn 18 to leave that environment. And what they do every time we talk to them, all they do is complain about how, oh, I wanted to leave, or I wanted to go to Colorado, or I wanted to do this, but oh man, there was just so much here that was, keeping me from saving the money. Like my dad, who was always borrowing money and insane, he was paying me back, but he never paid me back, and all this other stuff. You can decide not to let people borrow money, especially if they're doing that. And you can decide, whether you want to keep living here or not. You can, especially nowadays, people live in vans, okay? It's called van life. People do that. People take the steps. They take the steps to do what they want to do. And, good on them. They want to do that, they can do it. You do you. Okay? On the other hand, my adoptive family, the family I spent the majority of my life with, my mother, she was looking at, the bills and what to pay and do all this other stuff, and I assume there was a savings account somewhere for the things that she wanted to do. There was a time I gave her money to go get a horse because she really wanted a horse, and she was like, I don't have the money to go get this horse, so I gave her, I think, $180. It wasn't much, but it was enough to let her go get this horse. I never expect to be paid back for that. She paid me back like half the money. I don't even care, Maybe when I was younger, I cared a little bit more. But as I've grown, it doesn't. I know that there's money that I give people that I'm not going to see again. Okay? And I just have to be okay with that. And you know what? I am. Why? She's my mother, first off. Okay? She raised me. Okay? From the time I was 6 years old until I left the house, she was raising me. Sometimes she still, gives me a kick in the butt sometimes. If I'm messing up or doing something. Right? So, yes. But, so, she was looking at bills. She was seeing what they could and could not afford. She was always saving the money, especially when there was something she wanted to buy. There was a goal set in place, and then there was a plan to get to that goal. Now, did they ever get out of middle class? No, they did not. But, they live out in the country. They have land. They have some animals. As far as I know, I think they've sold some of their horses just because she can't be there all of the time. So, but they have land. They have animals. They have, a house to live in. They have multiple cars because it is a farm in a sense of the word. So they have a truck so they can go and get hay bales. They have a regular car that my mom drives and everything, and then my dad has his own vehicle so he can drive to work. And they are older than my biological side, but even before that, they were in their 30s and their 40s. They were doing quite well with budgeting and stuff like that. So they were budgeting. Now, when it comes to reaching the financial freedom that I myself am seeking, and I'm sure a lot of you are seeking, their vision didn't span that far. So, everyone hears, oh, if I just won the lottery, or if I could just be a millionaire, I could buy whatever I want. Right? Now, millionaires aren't going out and just buying stuff willy-nilly because they want to buy stuff, okay? Sometimes, yeah, they have the money, they can afford it, but sometimes they just don't buy things. Even if they're like, oh, they don't impulse buy. They budget. They plan. Okay? What I learned from my mentor, Keala Kanae, and I will link him down below as well, was if you go to the store and you see something and you're like, oh, I want it, I just have to have it, sleep on it. Sleep on it. And after a few days, if you're still thinking about it, then you go purchase that. Maybe that's gonna be your little bit of a splurge that you do for yourself. But don't just buy something just to buy it because it's right there and you just have to have it. No, because if you go home and you sleep on it and you forget about it, you really didn't need it, did you? No. And that ties back into budgeting. You can't just buy stuff just to buy stuff, especially if it's not budgeted for. If you have play money, you have play money. But just because you have play money doesn't mean you go out and you spend more than what you have in your account for your play money. What you have budgeted for play money, that's what you have. Okay, budget this correctly. What you have budgeted for savings, you put into savings. What you have budgeted for bills and your debt, use for bills and debt. What you have budgeted for play money, use for play money. Don't go out and start buying stuff just to buy stuff. Especially when you first get paid, and then you just go out shopping and you have a shopping spree or whatever. No. Whew. Had to sneeze. Bless me, sorry. Whew. Especially when you first get paid, a lot of people when they first get paid, first thing they do is they go to McDonald's or Taco Bell or the mall or something, and that's the first thing they do with their paycheck is spend money. They have this money, they like, I have to spend it. What happens typically when people like that, what happens typically is they've spent it before they got it. They've already spent the money in their head before they got it in their bank account. Okay, so as fast as it goes in, it's taken out even faster. You know, and that's just how it works sometimes. A lot of people, and then they wonder why they're like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, or my bills are too much, it's too expensive, I can't do it, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, and everything else. They haven't budgeted correctly. You know, they go out, they spend money because they feel like they can spend it because they've earned it, but what you're really doing is you're trading your time. You're trading your time for the material things that you have. So, you look, okay, I spent 9 hours at work, and I got a water bottle out of it. So 9 hours, is that, you know, however long you have to work to get to, I don't know, this is out of a pack of 24, and I didn't buy it. Say it's like $15, $16 for a pack. So however long you have to work to make that $16, is it worth that thing you're buying? Okay, water is, you know, good for you. It's sustenance. You need it. But tap water is also fine. It depends on where you're living, whether it's even feasible for the tap water. They make filters and such for the sink to make it, you know, better water. So I don't know how that works. The filters, I don't know. I don't have one. This isn't my house. I live in the basement, but this is not my house. So this is my mother-in-law's house. So she buys the water and such. Sometimes they have a water machine, you know, like you find in an office building or whatever. They have that. They buy water bottles, so we drink bottles of water. That's a lot of plastic, a lot of waste. I know, I understand, I get it. Somebody's going to attack me probably in the comments and be like, that's a lot of water, or that's a lot of plastic. You know, stop it. I'm sorry. Okay, I would drink tap water myself, but I don't trust the water that comes out of this tap. I also don't trust their sink. That's a whole other thing for another day. But yes, so this candle, first off, we didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. She didn't buy it. She won it in something. But anyway, this candle, okay, say it's $20. Okay, how long do you have to work to get to that $20? That's how much of your life you gave away to get this candle, right? I'm not beating down on candle companies. I make candles myself. I got candle stuff under this desk back here that you can typically see normally. My wedding dress right now is in the way, as you can tell. It's got more stuff on it. It's been cut down here. It's not even close to being done, but it's getting closer. But no, so you're trading however much a product is, that's how much time you are trading in for that item. If you think of it that way, when you buy things and you think of it in terms of how much time you are willing to give of your life for that object, it makes you think in a whole other light. Okay? like, we don't splurge on things very often because I do like saving money. I like getting to that goal I have set forth for that savings. I do budget. I do like to do things like that. And that, this right here, I did not buy all of this in a day. There is no way I bought all this in a day. But with each of these, okay, could be like $30, $40. However long it takes to get to $30, $40 in an hour, or, an hour, 2 hours maybe. That's an hour or two, spent. You paid an hour or two for one of these tea sets, or one of these sake sets. That's the amount of time. So when you budget your money, you're budgeting your time. Okay? Just think of it that way. When you budget your money, you budget your time. So how much money do you have in there? How much time do you have in your savings? Okay? How much money do you have in your savings is how much time you have in your savings. How much money you put on bills and debt, that's how much time you're putting towards bills and debt. Okay? We all have electricity, so we all spend money on electricity. Essential things that are now essential in modern day and age. Electricity, running water, essential. Okay? A roof over our heads. Okay? That is what is now essential. Way back when electricity wasn't a thing, it was wells and candles. Wells and candles. Okay? Running water and electricity. If that wasn't a thing, it would be candles and wells. Before that, what was it? Caves. Or whatever shelter you can make. Right? And then you hunt for your food. You scavenge for your food as well. You do all this other stuff. What we have now is better than what we had before. And that's a lot to do with how success works too. As long as you're better than you were the day before, you're doing better in the long run. That's how you measure success. You don't measure success from where you started to where you're ending, because you will never reach that end goal if that is how you're doing it. If you measure it from, here, and you get to a higher place, and you're like, I'm still not seeing the success I want, I'm still not seeing the success I want, you will never see success. So you measure it from how you were the day before. And you keep going, and you keep going. Okay? So budget your money wisely, because not only is it just money, it is your time that you have put into it, that, that you're saving, I guess. So you've traded your time for money. So you put it in there. So do you want your time wasted on random objects that you don't need? And I admit, I don't need those tea sets. Were not a need, they were a want. Okay? Is it worth the time you spent making the money that it costs? Is it worth that time? Okay? And budget your money correctly, because then you will have more money at the end of your month than more month at the end of your money. Okay? And when you do buy things that you need instead of, or things be okay with spending a little bit more on better quality, and then just looking at the price tag and being like, this is too much, I can't afford it, and then buying $20 after $20 after $20, because in the long run, that more expensive item is cheaper than the cheaper items that you buy continuously over time. Okay, so I'm going to end that video off right here. I had to turn off the wax melter in the bedroom. It was smelling real bad. I let somebody use my vacuum and they smoke, and so it smells like cigarettes in there. So I gotta go turn that off. I turned it on right before this video, so it should be okay. I gotta turn it off. So I'm gonna leave you on this. Invest in yourself, because you are the very best person to invest in. Okay? Invest in stocks, in real estate, silver and gold. By that, we are in the process of going and purchasing silver and gold at some point this week. Okay? This week, that is the goal. And it is also the goal to buy the computer parts that my husband needs for his PC, for his tower. So you will see him online as well if he shows his face. I don't know. I don't show my husband's face on here because privacy. I respect his privacy. So he might just do a video channel or a gaming channel and where you just see the game. I'm not entirely sure. So invest in yourself, because you're the very best person you can invest in. Invest in real estate, invest in stock, buy silver and gold. Look into the affiliate marketing. I will leave the link down below. Okay? And I know there's one other thing that I say sometimes. Put 10% of your paycheck into savings every paycheck. If you can do more, that is fantastic. Okay? But before you do anything else, and put it in your savings first, then do your bills and your debt before you end with your play money, and budget it out correctly, because if you budget it out, you will always have money. No matter what, I know we are on hard times, tough times, so it may not seem like it now, but you will get through this and you will make the money that you want to make. Okay? And become a business owner or whatever else you want to do. I want to make my own business, or I'm starting my own business and stuff like that. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I love you. I'll leave those links down below. Peace. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.